Hello people, welcome to another episode of Grand Football TV. How are we doing? Yes, it is the Christmas period and Merry Christmas to you. I hope you're getting ready for the festive day, and don't forget Jesus is the reason for the season. Yes, so we're back again with another football week. Well, we just finished game week 16 and we're going into game week 17. And before we start to talk about game week 17, let us look at some of the news that have hit the headlines over the course of the week. Wolverhampton and Southampton, after a bad showing in their last games, both of them sacked their managers. And one of them have moved swiftly in Wolves. Wolves have already appointed Pereira, who used to be the manager of Porto, an ex-manager of Porto, is their new coach. And also in other news, congratulations to our own Ademola Lookman. Yes, the Nigerian who has come out the African Footballer of the Year. So what a great achievement for him. I've been following his progression and it's a wonderful one. That's why I thought to mention him, because it is great to see. So congrats to Ademola Lookman winning African Footballer of the Year for 2024. And the Carabao Cup has been decided. Congratulations to Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle and Tottenham, who are through to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. And Arsenal will play Newcastle in the semi-final in the two-legged game, and Liverpool will play Tottenham in their two-legged games. So one of them I think is on the 6th, the week commencing the 6th, and the other one is sometime in the start of February, the week commencing the 3rd or something like that. So we'll get to see those games as they come. We'll see who finishes, because in the Grand Football Pundits we also have points for the cup winners and also cup qualifications. Okay, let's look at game week 16 and how it panned out, and let us see how our pundits did in game week 16. So Arsenal played Everton, and Arsenal drew 0-0 with Everton. Not a great result, and as you would imagine, no one predicted that game to finish as it did. Liverpool versus Fulham. That game finished 2-2. It was an interesting game because someone got sent off, and Robertson got sent off early on in the game, but Liverpool held on. They went a goal down, they came back, they went 2-1 down. They went 2-1 up, didn't they? And then, well, I can't remember. One of them happened. One of them drew the game. That's what happened in that game. Anyway, it finished 2-2. And shout out to a few people who got that result right. Shout out to David. Shout out to Dion. And shout out to Yema. All three of them predicted Liverpool and Fulham to end 2-2. So well done to them. Newcastle versus Leicester. Newcastle ran riot against Leicester. Remember I said that Ruud Van Nistelrooy might get a rude awakening, and he sure did. He sure did. He got hammered 4-0. Great game for the Magpies, and Leicester would be ruining missed chances in that game. But Newcastle played well. That's all I can say. And no one predicted 4-0 as the right score. Some people predicted, obviously, Newcastle to win, but no one predicted Newcastle to win 4-0. Then Ipswich and Wolverhampton versus Ipswich. And like we said earlier, after losing to Ipswich, because Wolves lost this game 2-1 to Ipswich, they ended up sacking their manager. And None of us predicted that scoreline because we thought Ipswich, they're okay, but they'll probably not get, if they get a result, it will be a draw at the Molineux. But they ended up getting all 3 points, so credit to them. Well done to them. Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. This was another of our star games, and the game finished 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. And guess who got the correct score? Yours truly. Woo-hoo. Yes, I got the correct score, 2-1. No one else got that. It's important I mentioned that. No one else got that. I did. So I get 10 points for that one. Yeah. Okay. Brighton versus Crystal Palace. This was a shock result because I expected Brighton, who have been very, very good, especially at home, to come out top in this game, but they ended up losing and they lost 3-1 to Brighton. In fact, Crystal Palace had scored all their goals before Brighton scored one. So that was a very, very interesting result. And no one got that score correct. I mean, 1 or 2 people got the correct outcome, but no one got the correct score. Yeah, Crystal Palace beating Brighton away from home. Manchester City versus Man United, the Manchester derby. And it had everything. Well, it was a boring game, I must admit. It wasn't that great in terms of what we were watching. But the result was some people expected it, but you would have thought that Man City would have used this game to like bounce back and get Pep getting his team to play well. But this wasn't the case, guys. They lost at home at the Etihad. They lost 2-1 to Manchester United. And Amad Diallo was the star man of the game. He did everything to make sure his team won that game. And credit to them. And we have people who actually predicted that scoreline 2-1 to Man United. And guess what? They are Man United fans. Yes, shout out to Temizak and OK, who both predicted Man United to win 2-1. Wow, I didn't see that coming, but they did. And they got their 10 points for that one. Yeah. Chelsea versus Brentford. What a game. Good game by Chelsea. They're starting to show that they are in this title race, whether they like it or not. Chelsea, you are in this title race. Believe it. You best believe. Yeah, so they won this one 2-1, and it was a great game. No one actually predicted the right score. Oh no, someone did. We have Temizak again, who predicted Chelsea to win 2-1, and that's why he got all 5 points for that one. Well done to Temizak. Then Southampton versus Tottenham, another game which got the manager sacked. And this was Tottenham running riot against Southampton. I think they had already scored all 5 goals or something in the first half. Something like that, And it was just a crazy game. But they ended up losing the game 5-0 to Tottenham and got their manager, Russell Martin, sacked. No one predicted that scoreline, as you would imagine. And a lot of people obviously, in fact, almost everyone predicted Tottenham to win, but no one predicted Tottenham to win 5-0. And the last game saw Bournemouth versus West Ham. And in this game, it finished 1-1. What a beautiful free kick by Enes Unal, the Bournemouth player. He's starting to come alive. And credit to Temizak and Kiki. They both got that prediction right. Well done to them. And after game week 16, this is how the table looks like. Finn, with 369 points. And breathing down his neck is Yema, 1 point behind, 368 points. And Dion, who is new to this table of being mentioned, the top 3, he is at 353 points. So credit to these guys, and you can see the rest of us where we are on the table. Don't worry, I'm coming up. Some people are coming up, some people are going down, but that's why we love this table. People go up, people come down, and it's all down to the end of the season. And we'll see how that one pans out. Yeah. So let us go to game week 17. And there's quite a few interesting games to look out for in game week 17. Not alone the one that we start with, which is Aston Villa versus Manchester City. Aston Villa versus Man City. Today I'm just going to give you my predictions. And I've gone for a draw. I know Man City are doing really badly, but surely they can't come and lose this one again. It will be bad times if they do lose this one. I know Villa going through a funny patch. They're winning games, losing games. They're not, consistent enough so far this season. So that's why I think this one might end in a draw. It might end in a draw. Brentford versus Nottingham Forest. I'm going to go for Brentford to win 2-1 because Brentford, they've been good at home. In fact, I think they still hold the best record for the home team, who's won the most games at home, who's scored the most goals at home. I think they still hold that. So well done to them, and I hope they help me with my prediction this week. Ipswich versus Newcastle. I'm going for a draw, guys. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Ipswich did well against Wolves. Newcastle did well in their own home game against Leicester. But this game might just be, obviously, everyone might be in the festive mood. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm thinking. So this one might just finish in a draw. West Ham versus Brighton. West Ham haven't been great of late. They need to pick up a win somewhere. And I see them, getting this win for their injured player, Antonio, dedicating this one again to him. And I see them beating Brighton, who might be on a downward slope. So I see this one finishing 3-2. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. They just played each other in the Carabao Cup, and Arsenal were winners 3-2 in that game, with Gabriel Jesus getting a hat-trick. If he's going to play, you would imagine he would try and, be consistent now. Let the fans say, oh, we've got our Jesus back and all that. So I see Arsenal winning this one 3-1. It'd not be an easy game because Crystal Palace, they're not easy. They've been in good form before that loss in the midweek. So I see them giving Arsenal a tough time. But Arsenal need to get their acts together and start winning games. That's why I see that they might try to win this one and put themselves back in the running for the league. Everton versus Chelsea. Chelsea are the most informed team at the moment, in my opinion. And Everton, they did well against Arsenal, but can they sustain it against Chelsea, who are very, very attacking? So I'd say that Chelsea, if they get that chance, they would rip them apart. And I'm thinking that Chelsea might go to Goodison and win comfortably. I'm going for a 4-1 win to Chelsea away from home. Don't ask me why. Fulham versus Southampton. Fulham, good team, played well against Liverpool. They'll be buoyed by that draw. I know they nearly lost it, and they nearly could have won it as well, based on Liverpool being a man down, but they didn't. So they'll probably take that into this game, and Southampton, not really playing well. They sacked their manager. They might still struggle a bit before they get their acts together. So I see this one being a bit too soon for them to get their acts together, and they will lose this one 2-0. I see Fulham winning 2-0. Leicester versus Wolves. Leicester, after that bad result against Newcastle, would want to, make amends to their home fans. And Wolves, new manager, they might play well, you never know, but I see them losing this one. They might have a good game, but still lose 2-0. So I'm going for a 2-0 loss to Leicester. Manchester United versus Bournemouth. This is going to be a tricky game because Bournemouth have been very good this season. And Man United, they're starting to get their acts together. I know they lost in midweek as well to Tottenham, but they played well. They fought hard, but it was just a bit too late. So I see them winning. Man United winning this one 3-1. I see Man United winning 3-1. Then our star game for the weekend, Tottenham versus Liverpool. Only God knows which Tottenham would turn up for this one. Because if it's the Tottenham that turned up against Man United, then they're in big trouble against Liverpool. If it's the Tottenham that turned up against Man City, then we're in for a good game. Because this game, it's difficult to call, and I'm not going to call it for any team to win. So I'm going to sit on the fence and say 2-2. Tottenham, Liverpool, 2-2. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of the predictions for Game Week 17. What are your predictions? Let us know in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. And bye for now.
Don't check this.